Welcome back, dear students. Dear students, let's study one more sonnet from William Shakespeare, that is sonnet number 73. And if it is sonnet number 73, it means it is addressed to fair youth, that is none other than Mr. W.H. Means W.H. William Herbert or Earl of Southampton. This sonnet, like you can say other sonnets, also focuses all about death, all about time, how time is strong or how potent or powerful the time is that it destroys almost everything in a very ruthless manner. So, without any further ado, now let's explain the poem, understand the poem line by line. The time of year, thou mayest means may, thou means you. This archaic words used in medieval time. In me behold, see. So he refers certain period of the year. He says at that certain time of the year, you'll see in me. So see, the first symbol used in the first quatrain is autumn. Here he compares himself, the speaker compares himself to the autumn. Just like in the autumn, trees shed their leaves, and because of that, there is a kind of a death for the trees. Trees experience death, or nature experiences death in the same manner. The poet or the speaker of the poem says that time of the year you will see in me, just as we see in nature. What? When yellow leaves. So generally, leaves of the trees turn yellow in the autumn, or none, or no leaves are seen, or few leaves are seen hanging from the branches of the tree. Upon those boughs, branches, which shake. So see, boughs, he says, those boughs which shake means here boughs are personified, boughs are treated as living, shake against the cold. So he says, see in the first line, mayest, me, both of the words begin with M sound, means begins with the M, it means repetition of M sound. It means here in the first line we have what? We have alliteration. Second line, see this yellow leaves, see sound of L, none, few, do, hang. So see, in the second line we have the repetition of L sound. So we have consonancy. Upon those boughs which shake against the cold, those, the, again repetition of T sound means again alliteration. And see how the poet compares, the speaker of the poem compares himself or herself to the late autumn, when the leaves of the trees just turn yellow. We see hardly a few leaves just hanging from the branches of the tree, or do we see no leaves at all? So he says that part of the year, or that time of the year, you will find myself absolutely similar to the trees, or similar to the nature, just as nature in the late autumn experiences a kind of death, in the same manner you will see in me, I shall probably be experiencing or just inching close to my own death. And the more I shall be inching closer and closer, I shall be losing my strength, my potential, my power, just like the nature, just like the trees in the late autumn just actually experience the gradual but steady loss of their potential and power and strength and stamina, and at last they die because with the last leaf that falls. See, in bare, ruined, almost destroyed choirs, group of singers, or that very particular platform used by the choirs in the church for performing or singing. So here the branches of the trees are called choirs or compared to choirs. It means here we have metaphor. Metaphor is used where the sweet birds sang, where he says that where just before the coming of the autumn, the singing birds like skylark and nightingale were singing, but with the arrival of the autumn, since it is the late autumn, either leaves of the trees have turned yellow or almost all the leaves have fallen, or a few leaves are still there on their branches. So he says, just as the nature looks absolutely desolate and absolutely cheerless and absolutely sad because it experiences the loss of strength and power and stamina and life, in the same manner the speaker of the poem, he says that very soon he will experience all that. Why? Because he is getting older and older and older and inching closer and closer to his to the last phase of his own life, and that last phase of his own life will at last punctuate a full stop to his own life, and with that he will die. So see, in the first quatrain, the poet, the speaker of the poem, just makes use of the autumn, late autumn, as the symbol that symbolizes a kind of a death, that symbolizes a kind of a loss of strength and potential and productivity. In the same manner, the speaker of the poem is getting older and older, and because of that he is continually experiencing the loss of potential and power and productivity in him. It is all because of that he thinks that very soon he will hit his old age, and with that one he will lose his potential and productivity forever, just like the nature, just like the trees and the plants lose their potential and productivity in the late autumn, and with that the winter comes, and winter punctuates the full stop forever. So see here the first quatrain of the poem, and see this, the beautiful, the rhyme scheme of the poem: hold, cold, so A, hang, sang, B, so A, B. Now let's look at the just a second stanza, second quatrain of the poem. In thou me seest the twilight of such a day. Now the second metaphor or the symbol used in the poem in the second quatrain is twilight. Now he compares himself to a twilight, that part of the day just before the dark or just before the nightfall, when there is a little bit light left in the sky, and that little light is very soon just overtaken, actually just taken over by the, not overtaken, taken over by the night. Night slowly and slowly engulfs that little bit light, and with that light engulfs the day. So now he compares himself to the twilight. He says, just like in the twilight, that phase of the day when the sun sets and the night is just a few inches away, there is darkness, there is no proper light. Day is almost dead. In the same manner, now the speaker of the poem experiences a little bit stamina and strength left in him, just as in the twilight the day has a little bit light left. He says, see what? In thou me seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by means gradually, slowly black night doth take away. So he says that, see, the day you see in me twilight, means the day you feel that I have a little bit of strength and stamina left in me, that day you need to understand and you need to realize that my day, my last day has just come. Just as my death has almost come. So he says that just as in the twilight a little bit light is left, and the night very soon takes that light away or engulfs that day and envelops everything in the darkness. In the same manner, when I shall have little bit strength and stamina and potential left, remember that I shall be standing maybe on the last rung of the ladder of my own life. So see, death's second self. So now here he calls night the death's second self, just as the night, in the night we sleep, we rest with our closed eyes. In the same manner, after death we close our eyes forever. So here again just a metaphor is used. Why? Because here night is compared to the just a second self of the death. Why? Because a sleeping man and a dead man, no difference. You must have remembered a beautiful line from Macbeth, where just Lady Macbeth speaks all about that a sleeping man is just like a dead man. So why to be afraid of a sleeping man? Why? Because no use difference between a sleeping man and a dead man. That second self thou that seals up all in rest. So he says that is the second self of the death, just as death seals the spirit, that seals the life, that punctuates the full stop of the human life. In the same manner, darkness punctuates the full stop to that length or to the life of the day. It kills the day. Now see the third, just you can say this quatrain of the poem. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire. Yes, glowing of such. See this seest such, again just we have alliteration. So now in this, in the last concluding, you can say in the last couplet, again you will see that here the poet has made use of the third symbol or the third metaphor, that is fire. He says glowing fire, such glowing fire. Fire stands for life, stands for passion, stands for energy, stands for youth, age. But what happens the moment we just light something, the moment we make fire, what happens? The wood supply the strength, and the wood supplies, the wood works as a fuel that feeds the fire. But the more the fire just glows, or the more the fire just goes and burns, and what happens, it produces more the ashes, and that ash at lot, or that, yes, that ash at last destroys or consumes, or just douses that fire forever. Same is the case with the life. He says that strength, that stamina, that potential, that power that make the life go, that same strength and stamina, what happens? Dwindles, diminishes in the old age, and with that the human life comes to an end. So here the human life is compared to the fire that is glowing, but definitely, since it is glowing, the more it is glowing, the more it is producing ash, and that ash will at last destroy or consume or douse that fire forever, and the ash will act as the deathbed for that fire that glowed. So you see, in me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth. See, ashes of youth. Again, youth age is compared to the ashes that is gone. So he says the youth age of the poet is almost gone, only and only the ashes of the youth age means now youth age is gone, only a little bit remnant of the youth age is left, as the death bed whereupon it must expire. So he said, now the ashes, just ashes working as the bed, particularly for that youth or for that wood or log that is just going to die. Consumed which that which it was nourished by. So he says that the fire glows, the fire feeds on the wood, because the wood works as the fuel for the burning wood works as a fuel for the fire, but the more it burns, it produces ashes, and that ashes at last finishes and destroys it. See, consumed which it was nourished by. So see here, just actually in the third quatrain of the poem, actually he has made the right comparison. Why? Because in the first first he compares just actually life to the autumn, and then in the second one to the twilight. But what happens after just autumn? We have winter, and again after winter we have summer, and again after summer we have autumn and winter, and the cycle of the season goes non-stop on and on. Same is the case with the twilight. After twilight we have darkness, after darkness means night we have day again. So this cycle of the day and night, morning and evening goes on and on, but it does not happen in the case of the life. The life once finished, if the life once ended or ends, it does not restart, or it does not come again, as per the just Christian mythology. As per Hindu, our mythology, just we know that we believe in just a rebirth, but the Christians just actually do not believe in the rebirth. So here But here he makes the right comparison here. Just as the fire, if the fire once glows and after glowing for a certain time, when it does not get no justice, when it does not get fresh supply of the just wood as the fuel, or the burning wood as the fuel, what happened? It dies, and if it once dies, it cannot be brought back to life. In the same manner, if life once dies, if life once is consumed, it cannot be regained. He says, see, this thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong. And he says that the day you realize, the day you feel that I'm inching rapidly, very rapidly closer and closer to my own death, and this realization of yours will automatically increase your love for me. Why? Because this is absolutely natural that when we realize, we feel that we are just going to lose some of our near and dear, or some of our dear relative, automatically our love for that person just increases. He says same thing will happen to you the day you will realize that I'm just inching, I'm just standing a few inches away from the last phase of my own life, from my old age, that old age that will punctuate a full stop to my own life. Automatically your love for me will increase. He says, to love that well which thou must leave ere long. So he says, the moment you will realize that I am just going to hit my old age, it means the speaker of the poem is just advancing in age. He is aging rapidly, and the aging process is, that absolutely natural. And second very important thing, that the person spoken to is young, young, young in comparison with the speaker of the poem. So he says that I am, the speaker of the poem says to the just speaker, that says to the listener, that unnamed youth, that he is rapidly growing and advancing in age, means aging process is going on very rapidly. His his just inching towards his own age, his old age, very rapidly. It means very soon he will hit his old age, and that old age will punctuate full stop to his own life. And if this listener realizes all these signs he has made mention in the poem, like the autumn, then twilight, then fire, then he will at once understand that the speaker is just going to die in a few months or in a few years, and this realization of the listener will automatically enhance his love for the speaker, and he will start loving him all the more before they part their ways, before they get separated forever, because death will definitely come and carry him away, separating the both from each other forever. That's it, my dear learners. In this video, provided that you find some complications in understanding any part of the poem, do let me know. I'll try my best to resolve it in the next video. Thank you for watching.